Okay, folks, good morning. This is Jeff Johnson. I am one of the account managers with NEC, and today we are doing an overview of our SL1100 product. I do want to introduce our director of our supply channel, Justin Kohler. He is online here, and as we go through the PowerPoint here, the presentation, if you do have questions, go ahead and send them via chat, and Justin will be tackling those as we go along here. And then maybe at the end we can open it up if we have any final questions. But on our call today, we do have a mix of folks. Some have sold the SL1100. Some sell phone systems, but not yet the SL1100. And then we've got some folks as well who are selling and deploying other types of technology, but haven't ventured yet into phone systems, and it's something that they want to look at doing. So I will try to address everyone as we go along here. Now, this presentation isn't meant to be a deep dive into the product. Our account managers, my teammates, will be reaching out to each one of you in their territories to do some follow-up or talk about next steps or answer questions, get you more information, that kind of thing. So, again, we do have a half-day class that we run that does take a deeper dive into the product, but here and today we're looking at doing an overview. So let's go ahead and get started here. So really what we want to do is talk about the SL1100 so that at the end of this you guys are thoroughly convinced that this is a very competitively priced system. Obviously, when you guys are looking at taking on a new product, probably some of the most key things are is, first of all, it's got to be a good quality product. You can't afford to put something out there in front of customers that cause you grief and cause you have to go back and fix things and basically eat your profit and have an unhappy customer. I've been in this industry since the early 90s, and the SL1100 is literally the most reliable system that I've been around. I've been with the company almost a year now. I can count the number of trouble sites on one hand, and each one of those got resolved when we got the right people involved. So, good quality product. As far as pricing goes, it is probably about the best price system on the market today. We hear one of our competitors has a fairly new one that's quite a bit smaller. It's slightly less money, but again, it's smaller and not nearly as robust. So I think you guys will find, and those who've been selling it, when you're out in the streets, the pricing on this system really allows you to compete and win some business and get some good margins. And also, you're looking for products that are feature-rich. So, and I think SL1100 does a great job with all of today's technology. So we're not really missing anything that you guys would need to put in front of a small to medium-sized business. So I think you'll find that SL is a great fit. So why NEC? My guess is none of you know this, but NEC, we are the global market share leader in the SMB space, and that's small to medium-sized business. We've led all manufacturers in shipments globally the last 4 quarters, and this is of Q2 earlier this year. So this is, obviously not something you necessarily need to lead with your customers, but certainly if you get any pushback about who NEC is, you can throw this out there. We are the market share leader globally, and it's never a bad thing to represent the #1 brand. So why the SL1100? Well, we think, again, we're the market value leader. We've got a very low total cost of ownership, great pricing out of the gate, but also, too, we don't have any recurring annual fees or licenses. Everything that you purchase is a one-time purchase with the system. So, and with its reliability, it really gives us a low total cost of ownership out there, something that you guys can be proud to represent. We do have great sales support. We've got an inside sales team, and the account managers are on the outside, as well as our friends at Capital Sales. They know the product well. They've got some technical support. options as well. The system does have a 5-year standard warranty on that, and we are almost constantly running different programs and promotions that you can take advantage of to either put a little bit better price to your customer on the street, or put a little bit more money in your pocket after the installation. And we do offer an easy entry into selling the SL1100. And why do we say that? Well, you have no contracts to sign. You've got no quotas to meet. This is a product that you can pick up and start selling day one without the manufacturer being on your back about purchases and your numbers and what you're doing. So again, a lot of you, especially from other industries, where you're looking at to start selling phone systems, I mean, the last thing you want to do is take on a product that has quotas out of the gates, or you've got to sign some contract that legally obligates you to, certain things. So the SL1100 is definitely an easy system to get started with. We do offer free technical support. We've got a good team down in Dallas, knows the product well. We'll take care of you. We do offer certification. It's not required, but it's available. We certainly recommend it. We do have online certification, and we've got a 3-day class that you can attend as well, which, by the way, is free of charge. Just need to have a demo system there in class because it is hands-on. Again, we mentioned both inside and outside sales teams as well as our friends at Capital Sales. And we've got a lot of technical resources for you. We've got over 20 installation videos that will help you learn the system to get going and get started. And we've got a ton of other resources on our technical website that we'll talk about a little bit later. Excuse me. So the SL1100 is a true hybrid system, and by that what we mean is we can accommodate analog, digital, and IP technology, both on the station side for the phones, excuse me, as well as the trunk side. And for those of you maybe not familiar with the industry, by trunking we mean incoming on the dial tone. So we can do analog, digital, and IP on both sides of that. And really, it's a very scalable system. We can go up to 256 ports, and what that means is a mixture of the number of incoming lines and the number of phones. I think the last thing you want to do, excuse me, folks, is take on a product where it grows to maybe 24 stations. But beyond that, you have to get into a new system, a new platform. And then the next step is maybe after 48 stations, you have to get a bigger system. So the SL1100 doesn't do that. I mean, whether you're starting out with, 4 phones, going up to 100, it's one system that you guys have to know, and it's scalable to reach up to that station amount. So you guys can be confident knowing that this is really going to meet the needs of the vast majority of your customers. So on hardware, the main KSU, or the brains of the system, it comes configured with 8 digital station ports and 4 single-line station ports. There are no CO ports or line ports that come standard, but obviously you can add those in there. It's wall or shelf-mountable. It does have a built-in 2-port auto attendant, and auto attendant is, hey, thanks for calling ABC Company, press 1 for this, 2 for that. That is also a function of voicemail. So typically if the customer is going to have voicemail, they're going to use the auto attendant from the voicemail to accomplish that. But if you do have a small customer who wants an auto attendant, just a route call, there is a 2-port auto attendant available. And what that means, 2 ports, guys, is 2 calls at one time can be in the auto attendant. On the KSU, we have 1 audio output, and that's for paging. So if the customer has or needs an external paging system where they have speakers in the ceilings and horns in the warehouse, those kinds of things, there is a connection for that paging system. We've got 2 audio inputs. One is for music on hold or messaging on hold. So if they have some sort of source, whether it's a radio or digital type of device where it's going to be playing music or marketing type messages, there's an input for that. There's also a separate input for background music. So if a customer wants their employees to be able to listen to music or the speaker of the phone while it's not in use. There is a port available for that, a separate port. There is a built-in LAN port for programming via PC, which is kind of a big thing because I know some of our competitors charge for that. So that's a standard item on the SL1100 available to you. There's 3 expansion slots to add different cards to build a configuration. But in one cabinet, your maximum configuration is going to be 12 incoming lines by 24 digital stations by 4 analog stations. Now we can add IP phones to that as well to beef up that number, but I think for the most part, most of the systems that we do have going out are going to be digital in nature. So in one cabinet, you can get 12 by 24 by 4, and you can certainly grow it from there. We do sell in bundled packages, so we'll bundle the KSU with some phones and a line card. Many of our packages have voicemail as well, so there's a discounted price to buy one of the packages, and again, the vast majority of the time, that's how people are buying it. So those expansion cards, there are 2 expansion slots, and so you can add an 8-port digital station card. That will be the most used card that you have, and that's how we get to 24. So you can have the motherboard has 8 ports. You can add 2 more that gets you to 24. But there is also an analog station card, and again, analog would be just a regular old telephone. You can have, some customers might have a lobby phone. They don't want to put a digital phone out there. They just want to put a basic phone. So that's analog. There are still some analog fax machines out there, analog cordless phones. Certainly when you get into a hotel or motel environment and you're going to put phones in the room, you're going to put analog phones. You're not going to put digital phones. So that's when you're going to use primarily when you're going to use the analog station card. The optional cards are this 4-port CO trunk card, and that's what we call a daughter board, meaning it doesn't take an expansion slot, but it connects to one of the expansion cards. It connects to the motherboard, or it connects to one of the analog station cards. Not often, but once in a while, you might get a scenario where you have more incoming lines than you do stations. I had one a couple months ago that was 10 incoming lines by 10 stations. So it needed 3 of the CO cards, but only 2 of the digital station cards. So that CO expansion mounting card is when you need that. So if you've got if you need 3 CO trunk cards, but only 2, that's how you're going to add that 3rd one. We can also add T1 PRI, and we're not going to delve deep into that, but that is a circuit that gives you up to 23 incoming lines. And one of the unique features about PRI is you can have DIDs, direct inward dials. So in those cases where you see every employee of a company has a unique phone number just for them, they're using DIDs and they're using PRIs. And just kind of as an FYI, it's just depending upon your market, you might want to start looking at a PRI versus analog trunks when you get to 10 to 12 circuits, because the pricing for PRI can be less at that point than going with analog. Also an optional card is our VoIP daughter board, and that mounts to our CPU card, and that gives you 16 ports or 16 resources. It's a little different in that it's not a physical port, but when you're adding IP phones, they're going to take a resource when they're on the phone. So you can add IP phones. When you add the card, you can use SIP trunking, which is IP trunking. Again, we're not going to take a dive into that, but IP trunking via what's called SIP is available. You'll need the VoIP card for that. Or if you're doing networking of systems, you'll need the VoIP card for that. So it gives you 16 ports of resources. You can expand that to 32 via licensing. And it's just, you can see there the price of the VoIP card is only $249. That's a great value to add IP to a system. We've also got an expansion unit interface card, so when you go beyond 1 KSU, you need 2, 3, or 4, you're going to add that expansion unit interface card to connect those other KSUs. So you can see there, guys, not a lot of hardware to the system, very few SKUs. It makes it easier for you as far as configuring it. If you're one of those guys who wants to stock a few things on the shelf, again, very few items that you're going to have to worry about. As far as voicemail, we call ours Inman, and it's a compact flash card that also installs on the CPU card. By far, the one we sell most of is at 15 hours of storage, and that's basically, storage just means how many hours you have of stored voicemail messages. And most small businesses aren't going to need the 40-hour one. There might be cases for that when you've got a company with maybe 40, 50, 60 people using voicemail, but the vast majority of the time that the 15-hour storage is what we sell. And then you can expand each of those voicemails to 16 ports in 2-port increments. So again, for most small, medium-sized businesses, that's plenty big. There's also an advanced application license you can add to voicemail. It gives you a number of features, which we'll talk a little bit about here in a minute. But there is a 60-day demo trial that you can add to the system. So if you have a customer who's maybe not sure they want some of those advanced features, but they want to try them out, you can turn it on for 60 days and use that. And the vast majority of the time that they're gonna buy that once that 60 days is up. So the phones themselves, we've got 12 and 24 button sets. And as you can see here, we've got red and green LEDs, depending upon whether the call's ringing or you're on the phone. We've got a display here with soft keys underneath it, so whether the phone's idle or you're on the phone, different features will pop up on the bottom of the screen here, and you'll initiate or activate those features by these soft keys down below. We've got these are programmable keys here, whether it's 12 or 24 buttons, and on these buttons you can put incoming lines, line appearance for each of the lines. You can put other stations or extensions, so you can see when that person's on the phone, the button will light up. You can use that button for transferring the calls to them as well. You can put system features on those buttons. You can put speed dial numbers on those buttons. So you can see a lot of, the more buttons you have, the easier it's going to be, the more one-touch use a customer is going to have with that phone. So when you look at the long term, usually you see a lot of 24 button sets being sold, just to give them a little bit better experience. We do have some fixed feature keys, flash, transfer, mute, do not disturb, and conference. So those stay as such. We have a dial pad that lights up. So when the phone's idle, it's not lit up, but once your phone's ringing or you're on the phone, your display lights up and your dial pad lights up as well. Down below we have a menu cursor key that gives you volume up and volume down on the speakerphone or the ringing, whatever it happens to be. You've got a button for last number redial. You can access the built-in directory via the cursor key, as well as view the last few incoming calls, a little bit of a call log there. And then you have a DESI sheet that you guys can label and put on the phone before installing it. So on the digital side, again, 12 and 24 button sets. They're full duplex speakerphone, and the big advantage to that is if you are talking on the speakerphone, and maybe the person at the other end starts talking, it doesn't cut them off. If you don't have a full duplex speakerphone, it will cut off that conversation. So full duplex is just like the two people being in the same room. So certainly an advantage with the phone. We do offer a wide variety of colors as long as they're black or white. So I know some of you guys, you sell into the residential market. A lot of folks do like the white phones there. Dentist office, medical facilities, a lot of them like the white phone as well. So that is available. There is a headset port built into each phone, as well as you can add a wireless headset adapter port to the back of the phone if they want to use a wireless headset. And the digital phones have built-in wall mounting kit, so you don't have to have that. There's a DSS console, and that is typically used by receptionists so they can put everybody in the office on a button so they can see when they're on the phone. They have an easier time of transferring calls to them. That's available, again, in black or white. There is no IP version of it, but if you do have a install that's all IP phones, you can still add the DSS console even though it's digital. You can mix and match as to what types of phones you have in there, whether they're digital or IP. The IP phones look exactly like the digital phones. They're only in a 24-button variety. And again, everything else is the same. In the back of the phone, you have two Ethernet ports. One is for the connection to the network, and another one is for their PC. So you could have one cable drop to the desktop that plugs into the phone, and then they can plug their PC into the back of the phone and use that same Ethernet cable to reach the network. So one of the advantages to that. There's different codecs, and that's basically whether the voice is compressed or not. We typically recommend staying with the G711 that's uncompressed. It gives you the best quality of voice on an IP phone. And as far as power, there is an AC adapter that you can add to the system, but more often than not, you're going to see people using a PoE switch or a power over Ethernet switch to power that phone. So you don't need an AC adapter for each phone. And it's only $159 for the IP phone. Great value. So on-premise wireless phones, we have a couple different options. One is a digital version, and the other is an IP wireless handset that uses access points. The digital version is great for if you need, 1, 2, 3 handsets, but usually beyond that, especially if they're going to add them down the line, you probably want to go with IP. It's just going to give you a better scenario. So on the digital cordless phone, it does use DEC technology, which, we're not going to jump into. It's just the frequency that it uses. The phone has 8 programmable keys. That display and dial pad are also lit up when you're in use, when you're on the phone. And we've got repeaters for each phone if you need to extend the range. And you can have 6 repeaters per handset. So in this scenario, the base unit and the repeater pair with a specific phone. So you'll need that for each phone that you have. And you can have a maximum of 8 of these on a system. On the IP side, we have our NL440 that also uses the DEC technology. So with that, you get the wireless handset as well as the access point. So very much like a Wi-Fi computer network in an office, you're going to have a separate network for your wireless IP handsets. And on the handset, you got an S-color display, you got some multifunction soft keys you can access features with, as well as you got 4 programmable keys at the bottom that you can put features or whatever you want to on those as well. Backlit dial key again when the phone's in use, speakerphone key. It's a great unit, very good quality unit for an IP wireless handset version. So with the NL440, you can have up to 30 handsets registered to one AP. Only 8 can be on the phone at one time. You can have up to 20 APs throughout a facility, and that's typically plenty. But key point there is when you're using the NL440, you've got multiple APs deployed throughout a facility, and someone's walking through the office or the environment, and their connection goes from one AP to another AP. It's a seamless handoff. So you're not getting any drop phone calls when you're connecting from one AP to another. Definitely a key point to keep in mind out there. There are no local power options to power the AP20, so in that case you do need to use a power over Ethernet switch to get power to the APs. Okay, to talk a little bit about features and applications. The system has hundreds of features, so we're not going to go over that. I I can tell you guys with confidence that really any type of feature that's on a phone system nowadays, the SL1100 does have. Some of the ones we like to highlight are the built-in caller ID, get a built-in recordable music on hold, so you can upload WAV files and that kind of a thing to use for messaging on hold, or even music on hold if that's what you choose. Couple options here for reaching people that are on the phone. The barge in, these are features that have been around a while, but the barge in for us, what that means is if you've got a scenario where a supervisor wants to coach and monitor some people, they can listen to a call and they can barge into that call, and the outside caller will hear them in that case. So obviously the inside person as well. So that's available. The voiceover busy is a way to reach somebody who's already on the phone, and that's maybe a good question to ask your customers as you're kind of digging out the applications. But in that case, what happens is I can listen to a conversation of a specific phone. I can press a voiceover button that can speak to the other internal party. The outside party cannot hear that, and it doesn't clip off the conversation. Your other inside party can hear both people talking at once, and they can respond back to you by pressing a voiceover button on their phone. So that's an underutilized feature, something to keep in mind as you guys are out there. We've got an ability to do call forwarding internally, as well as we can forward to an off-net or outside phone number if you want to do that. And we've got a few security features on the system that are a little bit unique. The remote monitor is giving somebody the ability to, from the outside, maybe their cell phone, they're going to call into the system, and based on their caller ID and how it's pre-programmed, they can turn on the microphone of a specific phone and listen to what's going on in that room. So a little bit of big brother there, but you know what? Some small businesses or some business owners might want that. But that is available. There's also morning message or watch mode, and what that is you can connect a security sensor to a door phone port on the phone system, so that a pre-recorded message can be played over any phone or any group of phones, or external paging system when a sensor gets tripped. So we've seen some businesses who they've got a back door in the business, so they want to know if that back door gets opened. In that case, someone trips that sensor, a message gets played over, again, a phone or certain phones within the system or the paging system. Or maybe it's scenarios where a business has a warehouse and they've got a bay in the back where they accept deliveries. So you can have a sensor back there. When someone backs up to the bay and trips that sensor, again, a message gets played to the guys inside that they know that somebody's out there. And another option with that is when a sensor gets tripped, you can have an emergency call get placed to a pre-programmed destination using a pre-recorded message. So there might be some applications for that. That's something to keep in mind. And that last one, remote inspection, is just you can have a pre-programmed schedule where a phone rings, and to check whether the people in that room answer the phone or not. If the phone doesn't get answered, then an emergency call gets placed to a predefined destination automatically. So a couple of features out there that you don't see with a lot of phone systems, maybe not a ton of applications for it, but certainly some things that can help certain businesses. And we've also got a 32-circuit conference bridge. Not that small businesses need that many, but it's available to them. Pretty nifty. As far as the voicemail, the in-mail, you get 148 total mailboxes. You can have 8 different company greetings with 8 different directories. So you could have up to 8 different businesses sharing the SL1100 and give them their own company greeting, give them their own dial by name directory. Not that you necessarily want to do that, but something to keep in mind. There's some of those executive suites out there where 1 or 2 people might be, or several people might be sharing a phone system. This is a way to give them all their own company greetings and directories. There's 32 routing mailboxes. The routing mailboxes are the thanks for calling ABC company, press 1 for this, 2 for that. We can record conversations and put them in your mailbox or put them in another person's mailbox. Certainly some applications for that. Caller ID return call is kind of cool. It's when you're listening to a voicemail message. I think it's 6-7. You can press 6-7. It's going to call back that person that left you the message, whether they're somebody else within the office or an outside phone number. So we'll grab a line and dial that person. Remote notifications, just being able to, have the system call out to you when you're out of the office to let you know you've got a voicemail message. And that advanced email license with email notification, that's kind of the big one. We'll talk about here in a sec. And you can also import and export WAV files into voicemail for, greetings or message on hold type things. So that advanced email license, a very popular feature that's used nowadays in business, is voicemail to email. So in that scenario, if somebody leaves you a voicemail message, it's going to send a WAV file to your email inbox. So you can listen to that message now from your PC, your laptop, or your smartphone. It certainly saves on how many voicemail ports a business might need, because when you're listening to a WAV file, it does not use a voicemail port. So that is a big feature. That Find Me, Follow Me. There's some other things that come with that advanced feature license, but the email integration is one, the voicemail to email. And this is something that you can turn on for 60 days. So certainly if a business is used to using that, they're undoubtedly going to want it. But if you've got a customer, they're not sure they would really use that feature, you can turn it on for 60 days for them. And again, chances are they're going to keep it, they're going to buy it once that 60 days is up. Our desktop suite is a GUI, it's a software that you're going to load onto a PC or a laptop that's going to kind of be a phone assistant. So it's going to give you a lot of control over the phone on your desk. So you can certainly, press buttons on your phone if you want to, but also too, for a lot of technology users, maybe they want to use this type of application. It does give you quite a bit more than just operating your phone. Obviously, you can drag and drop your transfers from one person to another. You can get a busy lamp field and a DSS button for everybody in the office on your screen. You can see who's on the phone. You can use that to transfer calls to them. You can create speed dial lists as well. One of the big things is it does integrate to Outlook. So if you've got a customer who's an Outlook user and they want a screen record pop of an incoming call, you can do that with Outlook. And this is only $55 per person. Very inexpensive. And this is also part of that 60-day free trial. You can have 2 seats or 2 licenses that you can turn on for 60 days. So again, if they're not sure they're going to use it. But this is an application like a lot of receptionists might use. Or again, just kind of a technology user who likes these kinds of things. If a customer wants a soft phone, meaning they're not going to have a phone on their desk, they want to use their PC or their laptop as their phone, then this software is what you're going to use for that. So it can be its own extension, or it can work in conjunction with an existing extension. Very easy setup. We've got a couple of videos on setting this up. It's just kind of point and click. Cool thing, you do not need a server. This just resides on an individual PC or laptop. And again, you can see it's part of that 60-day trial. So again, with Outlook, so if I've got a contact about Outlook calling me, I'm going to get a screen pop of their record, so it's right there in front of me as I answer the call. Pretty cool. And you've also got one-click dialing. So you can highlight a phone number in any application like Excel or Word document, or on any web page. You just highlight that phone number, do a one-click dial if you have your desktop suite. Okay, this is a feature. Mobile extension is generically known as twinning. And what this means is it's a way to integrate cell phones in with the phone system. So if you've got somebody who's both in and outside the office a lot, they don't want to miss any calls, they can set this up mobile extension. It works in conjunction with an existing desktop phone. So if somebody calls your phone, your phone will start ringing on your desk as well as your cell phone. Once you answer the call from your cell phone, what's cool about it is you can transfer that caller back to anybody else inside the office. You can also, from your cell phone, you can access the intercom, you can access the paging system, you can make outbound calls on your cell phone that show the caller ID of your office and not your cell phone. And there's certainly a lot of applications for that. Doctors don't want to give their personal cell phone numbers out. Attorneys, really just anybody. But also it gives the customer a way of being reached by dialing one phone number. And so it's not this scenario where you call your desk phone, your office phone, they get voicemail, now they're going to call your cell phone. So this is a great feature. It's been around a while, works very well. One caveat, one important thing to keep in mind is it does require zip trunks or PRI. Zip trunks and PRI have what's called disconnect supervision. You'll need that for this, so analog trunks, this feature will not work. And 4 licenses do come with the KSU, so this is something that they can use out of the gate, and won't need to purchase another license until they have a 5th user. But keep in mind too, this does require 2 trunks. So you got an incoming call that takes up a line, and then the system is going to grab another line and call your cell phone. So it does tie up 2 trunks, but your cell phone stays bridged with the system throughout that call. Some additional features on the phone system. Number 1 is view mobility. It's very much like mobile extension. The difference is you're downloading an app onto an iPhone or Android. Works very much like mobile extension. It's just a way to tie your cell phone back into the phone system. ACD is automatic call distribution. You typically see that in call centers, but for even small businesses, they can certainly use that. It's usually used when a company wants to evenly distribute calls, say to a sales group or a customer service group. So the person that's been idle the longest gets the next call, that kind of thing. But the other use for ACD, especially small businesses, is if you want to queue up calls. We've all called businesses where they answer the phone, ABC company, please hold. Well, to me, that's not very professional, not very efficient. You could put a receptionist into a 1-person ACD group. So they're going to tackle 1 call at a time, none of this bouncing back and forth between ringing calls and calls on hold. So that second call comes in, they're going to get a recorded announcement, maybe in the receptionist's voice, hey, this is Jeff, I'm just finishing up with another call, I'll be right with you, whatever it happens to be. Otherwise, you're listening to music on hold. And then when you're off the phone, it's going to send you the call that's been holding the longest. Yep. Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. I got booted off the audio. So technical difficulties does happen. So my apologies for that. But let's pick up. So again, with ACD, you can use it for a few different things there. Now, by the way, that's also something that gets turned on during that 60-day trial period. So again, if they're not sure they want to use those kind of features, you can turn them on for 60 days, let them kick the tires. There's an ACD reporting package with supervisor functionality if they want that. We do have some hotel motel features in the system. You can turn those on. Networking, if you want to network different SL1100s together, you can do that. We have a call accounting package, traffic analysis package. We can also integrate to different CRMs. Almost anything that's web-based we can integrate with. Salesforce.com is kind of a popular one. So if a customer wants a screen record pop of a Salesforce contact record, that can happen. For anything that's more server-based, that's not web-based, then we've got a more limited number of programs that we can integrate with. Just something to keep in mind. And call logging is when, if you have a customer that wants to record calls and then archive them and save them, you'll need a call logging unit for that. So we have the capability to do that as well. Again, we do sell in quick start kits, and our two most popular ones are this one with 6 12-button sets and one with 6 24-button sets. We've got a quick start kit for IP phones, if they want to use IP, and also an ML440 for that IP wireless handset. To give you an idea of what's in a kit, so this is a 24-button set, so we give you the KSU, we give you the 4-port trunk router card, so now it's 4x8x4, 2-port voicemail, 6 digital telephones, an installation cable. That we've tailed that out for you guys, so it makes installation easier. I think everybody uses that, so it certainly saves you some time. And then there's also designation sheets to label your phones. So that list price is $12.99. And by list price, that's just kind of a pricing structure that we use. It's not meant to be MSRP or anything like that. It's just something that we use to give you guys an idea of your pricing. You'll want to get your final pricing from Capital Sales. So they're the folks that you buy from, and they'll give you your final pricing on any of the items. We do have a channel reseller program available, so to get to the point where you're selling quite a few of the SL1100s, this does require registration. It doesn't obligate you to treat you to anything. It's just a way it signs you up for the program and entitles you to get rebates on your quarterly purchases, in addition to any monthly promo we're running as well. Okay, very important here. We've got a lot of technical resources for you guys. NTAC is our technical website. So for those of you who haven't yet, you're thinking about selling your SL1100, go to our NTAC site there and register for an account. That will give you a tech ID, and you'll need a tech ID for whenever you call into tech support. You can also use that site. It has all of our documentation, all the manuals, user guides, all the resources for you. But you can also create incident reports or trouble tickets, however you want to term it. Certainly, if you've got something that's minor, maybe you don't want to call tech support, you can just shoot them an email. You can create an incident report on the website, and within a couple hours, you're usually getting an email back from tech support. There's, again, lots of articles, lots of documents up there that you guys can access. Our online technical training, if you do want to get certified on it, self-paced course you can take online. It's accessed through NTAC. And we also have an SL1100 website. That would be great for you guys to use, but also something you can point end users to. So if you've got a customer who's interested, you can give them that email address. They can go take a look at and learn a little bit more about the SL1100. But part of that, we do have a calendar of events for you guys. So we've got some seminars and webinars, and those are posted. So if you want to, if there's a topic out there that's of interest to you, you can register and attend a webinar just like you're doing today. Sales resources, first and foremost, you have your friends at Capital Sales. Those guys know the SL1100. They got a tech support group that knows the product as well, so you can certainly use them. But we have an inside sales group that you guys can contact. Just keep in mind that they are on East Coast time. But the account managers, we travel a pretty fair amount, so we're not always easily reachable, but our inside group is. And I highly, highly recommend you guys, or when I sold to end users, I included lease options with every proposal. Because as we know, we get customers who say they want a new phone system, they get the cash price, and they start to choke because they have no idea how much a phone system might cost, whatever that amount might be. But if you've got some lease options, some monthly pricing for them available, some are easier to swallow and help you close a deal. And NEC Financial does have a number of programs that you guys can take advantage of, like a 90-day deferred payment, so you can sell and install a system and the customer doesn't have to start paying for 90 days, that kind of a thing. So get a hold of those folks, get involved in their programs, and I would definitely start using leasing as options. And again, so the NTAC is where we do have all the documents that we talked about. That quick start guide can be your best friend for your first few installs, so definitely download that and follow that along as you're doing your first few installs. Our system software is up there, so the latest version of the SL1100 software, you can download it from that site. Our application software is up there as well, so when you want to do PC programming, PC Pro is the software that we use. You can download it from NTAC. We do have over 20 videos, installation videos, to help you guys. Definitely take a look at those. We've also got some recorded webinars that are useful. You can talk to your account manager about that. Again, you can open and close, manage all your incident reports, and there's even a dealer forum up there. So if you want to ask questions of your fellow dealers, then that's one place you can do it. Okay, here's a map of our territory, so I would certainly encourage you guys, if you don't know who your account manager is, find out who they are from this right here, jot down their phone number, their email address. We're going to be giving each account manager your contact information so they can do some follow-up with you, but certainly not a bad idea to know who your account manager is. I'm kind of the new guy on the block. I've been in the industry quite a while, but I've been with the company just under a year. I think the next closest is somebody with over 10 years of experience. So our account managers have been with the company a while. They know the product very well. They know the company very well. Great resource for you guys. So we also hold training classes, like half-day training classes in our territories. So reach out to them. They can pay a visit one-on-one as well and help you learn the system that way. So hopefully you guys got a taste of the SL1100. Definitely the type of system that you can use out there and use for customers. Again, use 2 phones all the way up to 100 without having to change platforms. We've got very affordable unified communication solutions, different wireless solutions for both off-premise and on-premise. We've got a 5-year warranty on our product, very competitive pricing. Pricing that you guys can win with. We've got different kinds of rebates you can take advantage of. And we think we make things easy for you. So if you're going to get started in a phone system or take on a new phone system line, the SL1100 and NEC hopefully will make it very easy for you guys to get moving forward. And Mr. Conzer, are you on the line? Justin, can you make sure he's unmuted? Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. So again, you guys, like Steve said, thanks for taking time out of your day. We know you guys are very busy. We probably didn't answer all your questions, but get with your local account manager here soon. And again, for next steps, to answer questions, to get you more material, to point you to more resources, and to get you guys going. Definitely appreciate it, and hopefully get you guys moving forward with the SL1100. So thanks for your time. Thanks for attending. Have a great weekend, everybody.